This is a story we all share, of a place rooted in tradition and rich with opportunity, of people driven by compassion and vision. At Essentia Health, we're proud to play our role in this story, because we know that this place, these people, are like nowhere else. Visit Essentia Health in Hinckley, Sandstone, or our new location in Moose Lake for all your care needs. Schedule an appointment at essentiahealth.org today.
When something is important to you, you'll do anything to make sure it's protected. You want someone you know, someone you trust to help you take care of it. That's why you need to work with Pine Insurance Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. With over 50 years combined experience, let the experts at Pine Insurance Agency help you protect what's important, whether it's your home, car, farm, insurance, or loved ones. Call them today to set up a free, no-obligation quote. Your local Auto Owners Insurance Agency is Pine Insurance Agency, located in a Northridge Center in Pine City.
Welcome into WCMP's production of high school basketball. And now let's head to the court with Game Day Gilman.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's basketball game here on 106.5 FM, AM 1350 WCMP. I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman, and I'll be bringing you all the action from tonight's boys basketball game between the visiting Chisago Lakes Wildcats and the home Pine City Dragons. This is not a section game, not a conference game. These two opponents have already played each other once during the regular season down in Chisago Lakes, and Pine City came away with a victory in that game, 67-63. And both these teams trying to come out of here with a little bit of a different outcome for Pine City. They'll look to get another victory, and hopefully not just a close victory this time. They hope to look to put away the Wildcats in this one. But for the Wildcats, they hope to come in here and get the upset over Pine City, and they'll have a chance to do that here tonight. Chisago Lakes comes into this game sitting at 4-19 on the season. That's right, only 4 wins, averaging about 63 points per game, giving up about 80 points per game. And looking at their schedule, their 4 wins have come against, they had the early one there, their second game, they won against St. Agnes, and then they didn't win again until they played against St. Francis. And then they won over Zimmerman, and most recently over North Branch just this past Friday. So a big win there over North Branch, but again, only 4 wins on the season, and the last time these two teams played was all the way back in January. Man, that seems like forever ago. It seems like a lot longer than that, but it was January 14th when Pine City came away with the victory 67-63 at Chisago Lakes High School, and Pine City will look to defend their home court here tonight against the Wildcats. But Wildcats have had a pretty good stretch of games here against some very tough competition from Cambridge, Isani, Grand Rapids, Big Lake, Zimmerman, Becker, Monticello, Big Lake again, and North Branch. And a big majority of these teams are very good, who are ranked really high in the rankings in QRF, or they're just having a phenomenal season. And they play in a very good conference as well in the Mississippi 8. So it's not an easy conference to play in the Mississippi 8, but they have faced some really good competition, and their scoring the last couple of games has been outstanding, averaging about 72 points per game or 73 rather, in their last 3 games. And if you want to stretch it to the last 5, it averages about 72 points per game. So in their last 5 games, they've seen their scoring average increase, and they hope to get that here tonight, because Pine City, a high-scoring team themselves, and it seems like any time that Pine City's out on the court, you can almost bet they're going to be near that 80-point mark, and that's kind of been their average on the season. But again, for Chisago Lakes, they need a win here tonight to help themselves improve in the QRF standings. Chisago Lakes will wrap up the season next Friday. Well, not next Friday, but next Friday they'll play Cambridge Isani, and then the Friday after that they will finish it up against St. Croix Prep. They are in the QRF right now in Section 5 AAA. They sit near the bottom. They're second to last behind Princeton, Becker, Monticello, Big Lake, St. Francis. The only one below them is Zimmerman, and that's because Zimmerman is 0-4 in the section. Right now, Princeton is going to run away with it. They're ranked 5th in the state, number 1 in Section 5 AAA standings. They're 10-0 in the section and 20-1 on the year. And you'd want to talk about a high-scoring, high-flying team. That is Princeton, who averages 85 points a game. And their defense ain't too shabby either, giving up only about 67 points per game. And their 67.3 is the best in their section. So a tough section for Chisago Lakes to play in, but it is good competition, and if you want to continue to grow your team and continue to try and be the best, well, the only way you get better and the only way you can learn is by playing the best teams, and they certainly are here in their section. For Pine City in their section, well, it's been a bit of a rough last couple weeks here. They played against Mora and Malacca most recently, and those were tough games for them. Mora right now sitting at third. They got bumped up one spot over Osakis at 20-3. So as we continue to look, Pine City still ranked in that 10th spot in the section, but behind Malacca, Rush City, St. Cloud Cathedral, Spectrum, and Sauk Center, that would be the top 5 that they could get into. They're 4-3 in the section, 17-7 on the year. 74.7 points per game is the highest in Section 6AA, and they only allow about 53 points per game. And as I look across the section, well, that would be the best, fourth best in the section. So they do have a pretty darn good defense. But looking at the QRF points, they did lose a couple from falling to Mora, but they're still within range to possibly go and pick up that 5 seed or get up into the 5 seed because of the last games they have. This one and then against ESCO, if they can win these last 2 games, that would really help their QRF standings, because anytime you play a bigger class school, that it provides you more points, and then it provides you more points with the win. Even just playing a team from a class higher, it provides you more points, but if you get a victory, it just adds that many more points to the QRF, and then they can wrap it up against ESCO, who in Section 7AA is ranked number 1. They're the 11th ranked team in the state at 17-3, and their offense is a pretty high-flying one as well, and their defense pretty darn good. We're looking at Pine City. Because of the game against Mora, they did drop to 10th, and they now sit behind Malacca by 7 points, about 8 points behind Rush City, 9 behind St. Cloud Cathedral, and about 10 from Spectrum. Sauk Center, as I mentioned, the 5 seed right now, they're about 11 points away, or 21 points, away from Sauk Center. So it would be a bit of a stretch for them to get to that 5 seed, but it would take a win here tonight, probably a bigger win, I would have to say, probably a double-digit win, and then it would take a win over ESCO in their final game of the season as well, and I think that would probably more than likely have to be a double-digit win for them to get back to that 5 seed and guarantee a home playoff game, but it all depends too. Because Mora, Malacca could lose, Sauk Center could lose, everyone in front of them could lose, Rush City could lose. It all depends on if Pine City wins and who in the section loses and or wins. That will really determine how the seeding will play out, and we'll find out here in just a couple of weeks. Pine City wraps up their regular season next Tuesday up in ESCO, and again, head coach Kyle Allen for the Pine City Dragons playing against his teammate from St. Scholastica, so those two know each other pretty well in that game. Before we continue, let's take a commercial break here. Word from our fine sponsors, and when we come back, if we have time, we'll go over a little bit more of the game, and we'll also then have our national anthem, our starting lineups, and then we'll be ready for tip-off here in Pine City. You're listening to Boys Basketball on WCMP.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Feeling a little cold this winter? Call D&E Heating and Air Conditioning in Hinckley. D&E Heating and Cooling is a local Amana dealer with quality workmanship and superior service. Now scheduling into 2022. D&E is ready to assist you, keeping all your heating and air quality appliances working like they should this winter. Their technicians are dependable, knowledgeable, and will provide a professional work ethic. That's their promise to you. Make them your go-to guys for all your heating and air quality systems. Look us up, deheatingcooling.com.
Mortgage rates haven't been this low since 2017. Chad Greenway talking Franzen Bank Mortgages. Now is a great time to buy or build your first home, your dream home, or that cabin you've always wanted. Or maybe refinance and lower your monthly payment. The local mortgage experts at Franzen Bank will find an option that best fits your situation, buying, building, or refinancing. Find a Franzen Bank mortgage expert today at franzenbank.com/getThere. Tell them Greenway sent you. Franzen Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The holidays are over and we're all dreaming about spring. But at Aquarius Home Services, we know Old Man Winter isn't done with us yet. Remember last year? We had snow in April. That's why at Aquarius, we're offering $65 off any furnace repair. With your safety and comfort as our top priority, we'll treat your home and time with respect. We'll provide options that make sense with upfront, no-surprise pricing. We're just a click away at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings. With expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas, when you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
If you've been injured in an auto accident or have sustained other personal injury, you don't have to leave town to get good representation. Spear & Swanson attorneys at law in Pine City are experienced and will work on your case with no fee until they get you money. They also handle divorce and custody cases, criminal defense, including DWI and other legal matters. Spear & Swanson is your local law firm that cares about you. So if you need legal representation or advice, call 320-629-7586. Spear & Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Visit Town & Country Insurance today at townandcountry-ins.com or stop in our offices in Finlayson, Hinckley, and Mora.
3 words: Sriracha Cheese Curds. Introducing the latest A&W family restaurant side with a kick. Sriracha Cheese Curds have arrived at A&W. We've spiced up our 100% Wisconsin white cheddar cheese curds with just the right amount of Sriracha heat. You can enjoy Sriracha Cheese Curds with your favorite A&W combo or on their own. Make sure to cool off the heat with a frosty mug of original A&W root beer. Hurry in, Sriracha Cheese Curds are only available for a limited time at your local A&W family restaurant in Pine City.
Minnesota. It's home. Hot summers at the lake, beautiful falls, snowy winters, and rainy springs. We experience it all. Make sure you're ready to handle whatever this state throws at you with help from Minnesota Equipment in Isani. Minnesota Equipment carries brands you love, like John Deere, Steel, Toro, Gravely zero-turn mowers, and Aaron snowblowers. Their helpful staff can not only get you the equipment you need, but can help you maintain it so it will last. Plus, they carry a full line of farm equipment. Minnesota Equipment in Isani. Online at minnesotaequipment.com.
Back here on WCMP 106.5 FM, AM 1350, and of course streaming live online at WCMPradio.com. The site for tonight's boys basketball game between the Section 5 AAA Chisago Lakes Wildcats and the 6 AA Pine City Dragons. Getting your starting lineups here for both of these teams. Starting for the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, it'll be number 3, Reed Marquardt, number 10, Abraham Olson, number 11, Owen Larson, number 23, Patrick Rowe, and number 25, Ian Larson. The Wildcats are head coached by Michael Holmquist. On the other side for the Pine City Dragons, it'll be number 1, Dylan Peterson, number 12, Cole Waxberg, number 14, Cameron Jusak, number 20, Colton Blaisdell, and 23, Luke Wilson. Those are your starting lineups here this evening for both of these teams, as we are just about set to go in this game. The Wildcats have a couple of tall guys out there, one of them starting, only a sophomore, 6'5", Patrick Rowe. Last time the Dragons faced a team with multiple guys who were over that 6'3" mark. It was a tough one for them, and that was against Malacca. And Malacca really had Pine City's number, and what they did was they used their 2 biggest guys to guard the playmakers for Pine City. Peterson and it was Rowe who got the tip-off win. So the Wildcats will start with it, and with it now is Owen Larson. He gives it off to Rowe. Rowe trying to drive inside, puts up a little bit of a floater that's in and out, and rebounded by Cameron Jusak. Again, these two teams played earlier in the year, and the Dragons won that game, and they're trying to win this one here at home again. Peterson looking for the shot. He was fouled, and he'll go to the line and shoot two. Our first foul comes early in this one, 19 seconds into the game, and it's going to go on Owen Larson, his first and the team's first. 19 seconds into this one, and we have our first foul. Peterson, first one up and good. Dylan Peterson makes the first, and when he gets the ball towards that net, man, he is so physical down there underneath the net. Peterson, second one, in and out. And we get a lane violation on the Wildcats. So Peterson's going to get another chance at this one. 1-0. And that one's no good, but Wilson gets the rebound. And now out to Waxburg for three. That's no good. And now it looks like we'll get a foul on Pine City. Coming down with the rebound for Chisago Lakes was Olson. This foul going to go on Peterson. So 1-0. Oh, and then Cole Waxburg with the steal right off the inbound. Gives it off to Luke Wilson. Wilson trying to drive. No look pass to Peterson. And that gets away from as it rolls on the court out of bounds. And it will go back to the Wildcats. So Chisago Lakes catches a break there on that one as Waxburg knew exactly what they were trying to do on the inbound. He went up and floated in the air seemingly and just stole it away. He knocked it away in the air and then was able to get the steal. Wildcats out the court quickly. Olson to Larson. Larson stops. That's Marquardt. Marquardt all the way across court. And that was Olson. No good. Rebounded by Olson. And Marquardt trying to drive. Instead, he'll give it off to Rowe. Rowe brings it to the top of the key, standing at the Dragon logo. We'll kind of reset the offense here. Drifts back to the far side. On the far side, gives it in the far side corner to Marquardt. Marquardt trying to get around Waxburg. Now drives to the lane. Stops, backs it out, gives it off to Olson. Olson now going to drive. Olson up and no good, and it looks like we get a foul from Pine City. It's going to go on Luke Wilson, and Luke Wilson, he doesn't get a lot of fouls called on him. And now Marquardt right off the inbound for three, no good. Getting the rebound there was Rowe, and now taking it up the court is Wilson. Wilson to Waxburg, now back to Wilson. Wilson, top of the key, trying to get around the defenders. Oh, and a dangerous pass inside is stolen away by Marquardt. He takes it up the court, stops, gives it off to Olson. Olson to Larson for three. That's no good. Driving in for the rebound is Luke Wilson once again. Wilson takes it up the court. Trying to get around a trap, and now trying to get around Marquardt. He drives inside, just tries to put up a little floater off the glass. It's no good. Coming down with the rebound, though, is Jusak. Now to Waxburg. Waxburg tries to drive, bounce pass to Blaisdell in the near side corner. Blaisdell pauses, looking. He'll just hand it off to Jusak, who's still moving. Tries to go for three. It's no good, and then Waxburg trying to go for the rebound. Goes up and over, well, really on top of Owen Larson, as he got the rebound, and that will be a foul, the third team foul here for Pine City, the first on Cole Waxburg. So a quick foul for Chisago Lakes, and then it's been all Pine City fouls as they've had three now. And only 2 minutes into this game, it's 1-0 Pine City. Marquardt takes it, trying to get her around Wilson. Goes up on the far side, stops. Now we'll give it off to Olson. Olson here to Rowe. Rowe goes inside, easy up and in for two for Ian Larson. So now it's 2-1 in favor of Chisago Lakes. Waxburg gets the inbound back to Wilson. Wilson gives it back to Waxburg. Waxburg will go to Blaisdell. Blaisdell trying to get it up the court. Nearly had it poked out by Rowe. Now back to Waxburg. Waxburg fakes one way, goes inside to Peterson. Now on the far side corner for Blaisdell for three. That's good! Colton Blaisdell for three. Beautiful passing by the Dragons led to that one. And it's 4-2. Dragons right back with the lead. 15-15 to go. Olson with the ball. Now into the near side corner. It's Marquardt. That's stolen away by Dylan Peterson. Peterson tried to take it up the court, but I believe he was fouled as Chisago Lakes almost got it back on a steal, but they're going to get a foul here. I believe on Abraham Olson it will be his first, team's second. And now we got a couple substitutions here. It's Jason Thiemann. And just Jason Thiemann. Look like Mason Charles is going to come in for a moment, and then Jusak and him switch, so Jusak will stay out there. Lamont Sidney, though, does check into the game for the Dragons. Refs come together at center court to discuss something. Discussion's over and nothing really changes, so Pine City holds on to the ball. It's Peterson trying to get around the defender. He drives, goes up, no good, and they're going to say a foul on the court. Luke Thompson and Trayson Griffin in for the Wildcats. Thiemann trying to inbound it, looks like. Looks like he may have gone over the boundary line before getting that ball inbounded, so ball will go right back to the Wildcats. Now with it and giving it back out here to Larson. Now to Marquardt. Marquardt on the near side gives it to Trayson Griffin. Now off to Olsen. To Marquardt. Marquardt trying to get around Waxberg, and that's poked out. Poked out again by Waxberg. And it looks like they're going to get a foul on Waxberg. This time his second, team's fourth. Waxberg wasn't a fan of the call, so he's going to have to come to the bleachers for just a moment, catch a breather with his second foul. Inbounded to Olsen from Larson. Olsen takes it up the court, trying to get around Thiemann. Thiemann gets turned around, but gets back on defense. Thompson now with the ball. He pauses, looking, nearly poked out by Lamont Sidney, and now looks like we're going to get a timeout call by Chisago Lakes. So the Wildcats are going to call a timeout, just a 30-second variety. Of course, stay tuned after the game for our Nichols Cafe Player of the Game. We'll award one player with a free bacon cheeseburger meal for being the Nichols Cafe Player of the Game. Of course, thanks again to Nichols Cafe for sponsoring that. Stay tuned because we'll get an interview with the Nichols Cafe Player of the Game as well as the head coach of Pine City, Kyle Allen. 4-2 is the score. Pine City leads over the Chisago Lakes Wildcats here at home, with 14:22 to go in the first half. Marquardt will inbound to Larson, and just getting past over half court because he leapt from this side of half court trying to get the inbound, and one of the Dragon coaches thought that was an over and back, but he did get back across. Now Lamont Sidney up the court quickly with it, puts it up, no good, and the foul going to be on the Wildcats there. Lamont Sidney nearly got that one to fall. Would have been a chance at a three-point play, but instead it's going to be on Chisago Lakes with a foul. It's going again against Luke Thompson, his first, team's fourth. Sidney at the line for two. First one's up, no good. Sidney's second one, also no good. And coming down with the rebound is Larson. And that ball going to be knocked out of bounds by Pine City. Chisago Lakes will hold on to it. Early on, Pine City struggling from the free throw line. Just 1 of 4 right now, 25%. And now with it, taking it up the court is Olsen trying to get around Thiemann. Thiemann behind him, and looks like we're going to get a foul. Pine City. It looks like this will probably be on Thiemann, I'm guessing. Well, foul went on the board, but they did not show who it was by. I'm going to guess it's Thiemann, though. 15 foul here for Pine City. First for Thiemann. Inbounded. And the shot is no good. Peterson. Well, actually, it'll be Wilson who comes down with the rebound. Now to Thiemann for three. That's no good off the mark. Lamont Sidney will come down with the rebound. He'll put it up off the glass in for 2. 6-2 now the score. Pine City leads, 13:33 to go. Rowe checks in and gives it off in the near side corner for three. That's no good. Jack Walker with the attempted three. Lamont Sidney with the rebound. And he gives it off to Luke Wilson up the court. Wilson on the far side trying to get around a defender. Now out to Mason Charles for three. That's well long. And Jason Thiemann trying to keep it alive. Rowe is going to wind up coming down with it. Wilson nearly poked it out, though. And shooting it up in for, I think the basket will count from Luke Thompson. And the basket will count for Luke Thompson. Lamont Sidney, ankle still bothering him. He's going to come out of the game, and Chisago will check back in. Hopefully Lamont's okay and able to get back into this game. Did not see who they called the foul on. As Thompson, three-point play not made, but we're going to have this ball go out of bounds off of a Pine City player. And the Wildcats will hold on to it. This inbound is to Jack Walker. Rowe waiting. He's going to try and set up the defense or offense here. I apologize now. Gets it off to Xander Schmidt. And Rowe just a short little jumper for two. No good. Chisago will wind up passing it. Well, swatting it more or less to Peterson. And then Rowe gets the steal from Peterson. And Rowe gonna slam it home. Rowe, the 6'5 sophomore, ties it up at 6 apiece. Now Wilson for Pine City looks, passes it in the near side corner for Chisago. He's pure on the three. The assist from Luke Wilson. And the crowd getting rowdy here for Pine City. Pass into some traffic, and Luke Thompson going to be fouled. Let's see who they call it on. I'm going to say he went to the head. I didn't see him go to the head at all. Can't say I agree with that call. So it'll be a 1-and-1 situation for Luke Thompson. Luke Thompson with a 1-and-1 opportunity right now. And no good. No good. The rebound is still up for grabs. We get a jump ball. The possession arrow favors the Pine City Dragons. Dragons lead 9-6 with 12 minutes to go here in the first half. And looking at the substitutions-wise, these two teams very similar. Pine City's got about 10 guys substituted, same as Chisago Lake, so they're trying to get their rotations going early. Thiemann in the near side corner to Chisago, then he finds a lane to drive, but before he passes it to Wilson on the far side for a wide open three. Chisago is fouled, so they'll have to inbound the ball. And that's going to go against Xander Schmidt for the Wildcats. This ball inbounded to Wilson. Oh, he maybe missed a push in the back there, but Thiemann's going to steal it right back for Pine City. And we get a foul call on the Wildcats once again. My goodness. So we get a foul, another one here on Xander Schmidt. Dragons will inbound. Colton Blaisdell getting set to inbound. Xander Schmidt will check out for the Wildcats as they now have 6 team fouls, and inbound to Dylan Peterson. Peterson working on the far side. Looks for a screen from Chisago. Gets it now off to Wilson for three. That's in and out. No good. And the rebound there by Marquardt. Marquardt gives it off up to Larson, and now Larson's going to get called for the carry. And it'll be a turnover back to the Dragons. Marquardt called for the carry. Peterson looking to inbound, gets it to Wilson. Bit of a full court press here for Chisago Lakes. Peterson's does a good job of making sure he watches his back on that one. Chisago Lakes was behind him trying to come out and punch the ball out from behind, and now Wilson going to get called for a travel. So the ball will be turned right back over to Chisago Lakes. Both these teams struggling to keep the ball for themselves, whether it's been a turnover or a steal from one team. It's been a fight and a good one. Blaisdell on Rowe, and now Peterson gets on there for a double team. Rowe struggling to get it off, and now we're going to get a timeout called, I believe. I think the timeout call there by Chisago Lakes. It'll be a full one. 9-6 the lead here for Pine City. And the Chisago Lakes Wildcats are going to call a timeout. It was Patrick Rowe who was in some trouble there as he was double teamed and he just couldn't find a way out of it. Pine City had everybody covered. And Michael Holmquist, the Wildcats head coach, just decides to, instead of forcing anything for his offense, just to take the timeout. And now he'll have 3 left. 16 fouls for Chisago Lakes, 7 for Pine City. And a full timeout call here by Chisago Lakes. 9-6, Pine City with the lead, and a couple of threes hit here from Cameron Jusak and Colton Blaisdell. And then Dylan Peterson went 1 of 2 at the free throw line, and Lamont Sidney got a rebound and put it up back in for 2. 3 steals for Pine City, 2 for Chisago Lakes. 17 fouls again. I did not see who that other foul was on. And now with it is Rowe. He gives it off on the far side corner. That was Walker, no good on the 3, but we're going to get a foul on Chisago Lakes. For the rebound, they got a push. They got extended the arm just a little too far. And that's going to go against Trayson Griffin, his second, and Chisago Lakes 7th as a team. Jack Walker will check out, and in for him will be Abraham Olson. Looks like it's Cameron Jusak at the line for the 1-and-1. 10:44 to go. Jusak good on the first. Makes it 10-6. Both these teams playing with a very high tempo here in this game, and I believe that's how both teams want it. And a kind roll from the rim as Jusak makes both on the 1-and-1 opportunity to make it 11-6 in favor of Pine City. This ball gets inbounded to Rowe from Larson. Rowe trying to get around Blaisdell. Blaisdell had some pretty good coverage on him last time, even though the height difference is significant. And Peterson, oh my goodness. Peterson got into the body of Rowe, and I think he was going after the ball. Could have been a good steal, but Peterson just got into his body, just a tad too much. So now Rowe at the line for the 1-and-1. And his is no good, rebounded by Jusak. Jusak will get the rebound. Quickly up the court to Peterson on the near side, trying to find a lane through the middle, puts it up, off the glass, no good. And the rebound there by the Wildcats, but then stolen back by Luke Wilson. Blaisdell on the far side. Now Jason Thiemann passes it to Jusak on the near side. Elbow for 3. That's no good off the front of the rim. Luke Wilson winds up coming down with the rebound, and now trying to pass it inside to Peterson, but a foul has occurred. And we'll see what looks like a foul call on Chisago Lakes. That'll be their 8th team foul, and that'll be the first for Rowe. Luke Wilson at the line for the 1-and-1 for Pine City. Good on the first from Luke Wilson, makes it 12-6. $10:09 to go in half number 1. Second one, no good. So Luke Wilson makes one of two, but the rebound by Chisago is no good on his shot. Rebounded again by Peterson, and now to Luke Wilson. Wilson makes one defender fall, and now he takes it, and do we get a travel? Yeah, Wilson traveled on that one as he stumbled. The thing with Wilson is he is such a good ball handler. Half the time it looks like he's going to trip and fall to the court, but he just got such great balance and up the court quickly. Jason Thiemann swats it out of the hand of Olsen, and Thiemann with the steal. I mean, that's a football-type steal. And now up and in for two from Dylan Peterson. What a transition that was by the Dragon defense, turning into offense and then turning those points into two off the steal. I mean, Jason Thiemann came from behind, and he looked like Brian Dawkins coming in for the swat just to knock the ball out. Or Charles Tillman. I mean, both those guys were great at that. And now a two on the other side from Reed Marquardt for Chisago Lakes to make it 14-8. But I got to say, Jason Thiemann, he made that play and the Dragon offense turned it into two. Just a great play by the Dragons overall. Wilson now to Thiemann. Thiemann in the near side corner to Chisago. Chisago going to be double teamed all the way across court to Luke Wilson. Luke Wilson shimmies, shakes, passes it now to Thiemann inside to Peterson. Peterson bumps bodies up and in for two, plus the and one. Like I said, Dylan Peterson, he loves to get physical underneath the basket. And if you try and bully him down there, well, that's his game. That's the kind of game he wants to play, is physical underneath the basket. The basket does count, so a three-point play possibility here for Dylan Peterson. Wilson and looks like Blaisdell check out. It'll be Mason Charles and Lamont Sidney who check into the game. I did not see who the foul was on for Chisago Lakes. I believe it's Olsen. Peterson, no good on the shot, so just two out of that trip. And the rebound went to Larson. Now Rowe, a little bit of a short floater. Lamont Sidney, I mean, you want to talk about floating in the air. He just came over everyone and stayed in the air just longer than everyone else and got the rebound. Thiemann with it on the opposite side. Now gives it to Peterson. Chisago, a long three. That's no good. Lamont Sidney trying to get the rebound, and he will be the last one to touch it as it goes out of bounds. And the Dragons still hold on to a 16-8 lead as the ball will go back to the Wildcats. 8:35 to go. Inbounded from Larson to Marquardt. Marquardt trying to get around Thiemann. Thiemann, again, always a good defender. He's got that quick twitch. Now Marquardt inside to Larson for two. 16-10. Chisago with it on the pass from Thiemann. Chisago all the way across court to Peterson. Peterson wants to drive inside. Stops, gives it to Thiemann, and that ball is going to be knocked out of bounds by Owen Larson. By the way, the last two was by Ian Larson. Forget there's two Larsons out there. So Ian Larson got the last 2 points there for Chisago Lakes. Checking into the game is Jack Walker for Reed Marquardt. Peterson gets the inbound now to Mason Charles for three. That's well long. And Lamont Sidney trying to get the rebound, but again, got a hand on it as it went out of bounds. So it will go back to the Wildcats. 8:04 to go in half number one. Walker looking to inbound to someone. He finally gets it off to Owen Larson. Larson wanted to hand it off to Rowe, but Rowe guarded well by Mason Charles. He'll get it, though. Rowe trying to work past Mason Charles. Rowe gets past him, and now he wants to drive. Nice little floater pass inside, but it's tipped and stolen away by Lamont Sidney. Now up the court goes Peterson. He has it poked out, goes out of bounds, and Pine City will hold on to it. 16-10, 7:45 to go. Pretty low-scoring first half, but again, we still got 7:45 to go, so that this could really turn around in a hurry. Peterson looks for a screen, drives inside, shot is up, and good. Beautiful move from Dylan Peterson on that one. Shimmy shake one way, fake this way, a zig and a zag, and he's up and in for two. Under 7.5 to go, and travel here by Jack Walker as he was double teamed on the play. And the ball will go back to Pine City. A lot more pressure being put on here by Pine City. You've been seeing a lot more double teams out there as well from the Dragons, and it's been working. They've been forcing turnovers and getting the ball back for their offense and turning it into two. That transition offense has been phenomenal tonight for Pine City. Jason Thiemann will Inbound to Dylan Peterson. Peterson right back to Thiemann. Thiemann will go right back to Peterson. Now up the court to Jusak on the far side. Jusak goes across to Thiemann. Thiemann inside to Peterson. Peterson just waits. Oh, hands it off to Sidney. He can't grab it cleanly, and we've got a scrum on the floor for it, and we're going to get a jump ball. The possession arrow will favor Chisago Lake, so they'll get it back. I don't think Lamont Sidney was expecting it from Peterson. I think Sidney was waiting for Peterson just to watch the defenders go jump and then wait for them to come down and then go up for the shot for the foul for the attempt at 2 free throws, but instead he passed it to Lamont Sidney, and I don't think Sidney was ready at all for that one, and so I'll give him a little bit of a break. Reed Marquardt has it now across the court, gives it off to Schmidt. Schmidt now off to Walker. Walker, that's going to go out of bounds off of his hands, and Pine City will get it back. 6:51 to go, 18-10. Dragons with the lead. Dylan Peterson going to get a much-needed rest, and Luke Wilson checks back into the game, along with Colton Blaisdell. Mason Charles also checks out. Thiemann to Jusak. Jusak around the defender to Wilson. Nice pass, and a quick whistle, and I believe we're going to get 10th team foul here on Chisago Lakes. We will. It's going to go against Reed Marquardt, and that'll send the Dragons to the line for 2, and Luke Wilson will be the one at the line. First one, oh, no good off the front of the rim. Yeah, if there's one thing that the Dragons are just struggling with tonight, it's the free throw. At the free throw line right now, they are struggling. Luke Wilson and Dylan Peterson are 50%. Lamont Sidney missed 2, so actually, I don't know anything about Peterson. Did have another chance. He's 1 for 3. Luke Wilson is 2 for 4, and Lamont Sidney's 0 for 2. So this pass into some traffic, stolen away by Luke Wilson. Another steal, and now Luke Wilson on the near side passes it out to Lamont Sidney for 3. Oh, just off the mark. That looked good, but rebounded here by Colton Blaisdell. Blaisdell with the rebound to Luke Wilson. Now to Jusak on the far side, elbow for 3. That's no good. They've gotten a little bit cold. Reed Marquardt gets the rebound. Marquardt off the court quickly and up and in for 2. Beautiful passing there by Chisago Lakes. Ian Larson gets the basket for the Wildcats. 19-12. Creeping up on 6 minutes to go. Jusak pauses. Now back to Thiemann. Now over to Luke Wilson on the far side. Wilson in a little bit of a zone trap. Gets it out to Thiemann. Inside to Jusak. Jusak almost loses it. Now out to Wilson on the far side for 3. That's good. Luke Wilson for 3, and the assist from Cameron Jusak, 22-12. 5:40 to go. And it's Rowe who passes it to Schmidt, back to Rowe, now back to Schmidt. Schmidt tries to dribble through a double team. He falls to the court, and this pass, tried to get it to Reed Marquardt, and now we get a jump ball, and the possession arrow favors the Dragons, so Pine City will get it back. 5:29 to go. Dragons, again, are doing a good job just putting pressure on this Chisago Lakes offense and getting them to make mistakes. They don't always lead to turnovers, but there's a good chunk of them that have. Thiemann will inbound to Wilson. Wilson trying to work on Rowe. Now double teamed. Passes it to Thiemann. Thiemann back across to Wilson. Wilson inside to Jusak. Jusak finds a lane to the basket. Up off the glass, in for 2. 24-12. 5:06 to go as the clock continues to roll. Rowe takes it off the court. Nearly stolen away by Sidney and Thiemann. Now gives it off to Olsen. Olsen trying to take it to the basket, and then I think he tripped, but then Colton Blaisdell fell over top of him. I think that's going to be the foul. That's a tough one because Blaisdell working from behind just trying to get it, and I think that's what it is. That'll be their 9th team foul. Colton Blaisdell his first. Patrick Rowe he won't check out. Someone else checked out for him. But checking into the game is Trayson Griffin. And at the line is Abraham Olsen. For the 1-and-1 opportunity, he makes the first. So he'll get another shot at one here. Abraham Olsen good on the first, and he gets awarded a second opportunity. And gets the kind roll. The rims have been kind with their rolls tonight, even though the shots may have been off just a little bit. These rims are being very forgiving. Jusak up the court with it from Thiemann. Jusak, he looked for Thiemann. He'll pass it to him. Thiemann, he pauses, fakes one way, gives it to Wilson. Wilson will take it over to the far side of the court. Wilson looks for a screen from Jusak. Rowe does a nice job to get around that screen. And now to Blaisdell, now to Thiemann, now to Wilson. Wilson wanted the long three. Instead, he'll wait for a screen from Jusak. But Reed Marquardt is right there. Now off to Thiemann. Thiemann steps inside the perimeter. Now back to Wilson on the far side. Wilson looking for a screen once again. He tries to go inside. He has to back it out to Jusak. And then that's going to go through Jusak's hands out of bounds. And the Wildcats will take over. Wildcats need something because almost every possession here for the last 3-4 minutes for Pine City has led to points. And now with it is Olsen. Olsen gives it off to Rowe. Rowe trying to drive, now backs it out to Marquardt. Marquardt now off to Owen Larson. Larson directing traffic out there, wants Rowe, he gets it into Rowe. Rowe trying to get around Blaisdell. Nice job by Blaisdell on the defense, but just a nice floater by Patrick Rowe to put that ball up and in for two. Wilson will take it up the court on the far side. Wilson guarded by Marquardt. Wants to get around him. Gets a screen from Jusak. Rowe is there, though. Now out to Blaisdell to Thiemann now in the near side corner. Now to Jusak. Jusak spins around, puts up a shot of his own. It goes off the glass, no good. Jusak going to get his own rebound. He backs his way for the rebound. The shot is up and no good. And now we get a whistle. Do we get a foul? And who will it be on? It looks like it's going to go against Chisago Lakes just based on their reaction. That's going to go against Rowe. Patrick Rowe, the guilty Wildcat. That'll be their team's 11th as Jusak at the line for two. Good on the first, 25-16. 3:37 to go. So Jusak trying to make it 2 for 2 here. The first time tonight for Pine City they would be able to do that, and he does. So Cameron Jusak maybe breaks that little streak that they struggled with here tonight so far from the free throw line as he made both. Blaisdell working on Rowe. Rowe stops, puts up the shot. That's no good off the front of the rim. Getting the rebound, though, is Trayson Griffin. And now out for three from Abraham Olsen for three. It's 26-19. Under 3.5 to go. Luke Wilson trying to get around Larson. Now to Thiemann inside. Up and in for two. Thiemann on the nice pass from Luke Wilson. Drops it in for two. 28-19 with 3 minutes to go. Rowe to Olsen. Right back to Rowe. Now back to Olsen. Olsen slips. Has it stolen away by Luke Wilson. Wilson up the court. And he'll give it off to Thiemann, who falls himself. And that'll go out of bounds and right back to the Wildcats. Thiemann gets up and he's walking okay, so that's good news. Thiemann, I think he went backwards trying to get it and either lost his footing or just found a slick spot out there and unfortunately fell. And that ball rolled out of bounds, so it will go right back to the Wildcats, and Dragons will take a timeout here. Dragons do lead 28-19 over the Wildcats here at home. And again, the last time these two teams played, Pine City wound up getting the victory over the Wildcats in Chisago Lakes, 67-63. Our very own morning show host Joshua Miron was there. He does the PA for North Branch and Chisago Lakes, and he was able to see that game, and he said it was a pretty fun one. Pine City, he said, dominated in the first half, but then Chisago Lakes came back in the second half and made it a game, and I think he texted me the halftime score, and I don't remember what it was, but it was well one-sided in the direction of Pine City, but again, a great game nonetheless. So Pine City trying to do that again here, dominate in the first half and hold on to that domination throughout the entirety of the game. But Chisago Lakes, they don't want to lose twice to Pine City, especially on the road. When Pine City got the victory in your house, you want to come here and, get the victory over them in their own house. That's what they'll try to do. But Pine City so far up 28-19, 2:40 to go. It's Abraham Olsen now off to Jack Walker. Walker passes, nearly stolen away, but Abraham Olsen gets it inside. And the two for Trayson Griffin. 28-21, Luke Wilson wipes the bottom of his shoes, takes it up the court on the near side. Bounce pass inside to Jusak. Jusak trying to get around Rowe, and he'll put up the shot. No good, but he gets his own rebound. Up and in for two. I think that was the plan all along for Jusak. I think he knew he wasn't going to make the first shot. He was just going to wait for the rebound to come back to himself and put it back up. Abraham Olsen now on the far side for Jack Walker. Walker back to Olsen, now over to Rowe. Rowe on the near side, double teamed all the way back across to Walker. Walker going to drive in on Jusak, and now the shot is up in front of Sidney. This time the roll is not kind, and we get a foul here on Chisago Lakes. It's going to go against Trayson Griffin. His third. And now heading to the line for Pine City will be Colton Blaisdell. 1:53 to go. Dragons in the double bonus. Chisago Lakes one foul away from being in the double bonus. Blaisdell shot. Oh, what a kind roll from the rim. Colton Blaisdell, that one should have not gone through, but again, just a nice giving bounce from the rim. And the first one goes through for Blaisdell. And he's hoping to make another one. And no, that time that one's no good, so he makes one of two. Rebounded there by Rowe. He takes it up the court, trying to get around Blaisdell, and now double teamed by him and Luke Wilson. And what is the call here? Looks like we get a foul on Pine City. It's going to go on Wilson. So Rowe is at the line to shoot two now with them being in the double bonus. That one's no good. Score remains 31-21 with 1:44 to go. Mason Charles checks into the game for Luke Wilson. Rowe's second one is through. He makes one of two, and Jusak will inbound it to Thiemann. Thiemann pauses for a moment, scans the defense, and now trying to work past Walker, gets it up past half court on the far side. Does a little stutter step, passes back out to Jusak at the top of the key for three. That's in and out, and Lamont Sidney going to come down with the rebound. Oh, off the front of the rim, no good. He got his own rebound twice, but no good, 31-22. And there go the Wildcats, and a foul going to go against Pine City. I thought Pine City defender was there, but they will not agree. And now it will be Owen Larson at the line for two. This one is going to go against Cameron Jusak. Owen Larson at the line for two for Chisago Lakes. No good on the first. 31-22, 1:19 to go in the first half. And like I mentioned, with about 7.5 minutes to go, this game will probably pick up its intensity with these last couple minutes, and it has. Isaiah Haas checks into the game here for Cameron Jusak. No point in trying to risk him getting a third foul. Meanwhile, Owen Larson gets one of two there. 31-23. Thiemann goes one way, switches back towards the other way. Drives inside, and they're going to get him for a travel. He slipped on it. So the ball will go back to the Wildcats, and now the turnovers starting to be a problem for Pine City. And now Reed Marquardt, a beautiful pass. And now out on the far side for Owen Larson for three. All of a sudden, Chisago Lakes found a little bit of momentum. 31-26, under a minute to go here in the first half. Thiemann wanted Mason Charles. He'll get it to him. Charles gets around Thiemann and now gets it to Blaisdell. Blaisdell wanted three. He's guarded well. Gets it now to Mason Charles. Charles wants to get around him. He drives inside, looks for the shot. Someone got a hand on it, but a rebound there by Ian Larson. And now Owen Larson passes it over to Rowe. 35 seconds to go. Rowe trying to drive inside. The shot is up and no good. Lamont Sidney swats the rebound back out to Thiemann. Thiemann, double team, passes it to Sidney. Lamont Sidney up the court. He's looking for a lane through the defenders. Puts up the shot, no good. He gets his own rebound once again, and then he'll draw a foul. Lamont Sidney has not gotten a foul call to go his way tonight, but right there finally gets one. 31-26, 18 seconds to go. That was a lot of traffic for Sidney to work through. I didn't think he had a chance of getting through, but he did, and wound up getting his own rebound as well. And no good on the first shot from Lamont Sidney. So the struggles continue for the Dragons from the free throw line here tonight. Not something you want to see if you're the Dragons head coach. I mean, they've left a lot of points on the court just because of the missed free throws. Lamont Sidney, no good. Isaiah Haas, though, comes down with the rebound. Gets it out to Thiemann for three on the far side. No good. And now we're going to get a foul on Pine City once again. This is going to go against Mason Charles, his second. And it will be the Wildcats at the line for two. Looks like Owen Larson. No good on the first from Owen Larson. Rowe checks out, and for him is Luke Thompson. 31-26, 13 seconds to go. And he makes the second. So the Dragons will try and get this last second shot. Jason Thiemann gets the inbound. 8 seconds, 7 seconds now. Thiemann tries to drive inside. His shot is up, blocked out of bounds. 31-27 the score. Dragons will have 3 seconds to try and inbound this and grab two. And the quick substitution is Jack Walker checking into the game for Chisago Lakes for Abraham Olson. Inbounded to Haas. Oh, it goes off of the front of the rim. Just got a little too far underneath the rim, but he was fouled. So the Wildcats will be guilty of a foul from Luke Thompson. And Isaiah Haas at the line for two, and 1.7 seconds left. Not much time to get a rebound. No good on the first. Ref is having a quick word with Luke Thompson. And Kyle Allen wants either a free throw or is asking why the game was stopped on the free throw. Last second shot is no good for Chisago Lakes, so we will go to halftime here in Pine City. Dragons do have the lead, but a slim one compared to what they had here. About 2 minutes to go, maybe even 3 minutes left in the half. They had a 10-point lead, and it has since shrunk to now a 5-point lead, but it is a lead going into halftime nonetheless. Dragons lead here at halftime, 32-27. We'll take a commercial break here. A word from our fine sponsors, and when we come back, I'll recap the first half, give you our stat leaders, and also give you some keys to this second half for victory as you're listening to the boys basketball game here between Pine City and Chisago Lakes on 106.5 FM, AM 1350, WCMP.
With high school sports season here again, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
This is a story we all share, of a place rooted in tradition and rich with opportunity. Of people driven by compassion and vision. At Essentia Health, we're proud to play our role in this story because we know that this place, these people, are like nowhere else. Visit Essentia Health in Hinckley, Sandstone, or our new location in Moose Lake for all your care needs. Schedule an appointment at essentiahealth.org today.
When something is important to you, you'll do anything to make sure it's protected. You want someone you know, someone you trust to help you take care of it. That's why you need to work with Pine Insurance Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. With over 50 years combined experience, let the experts at Pine Insurance Agency help you protect what's important. Whether it's your home, car, farm, insurance, or loved ones, call them today to set up a free, no-obligation quote. Your local Auto Owners Insurance Agency is Pine Insurance Agency, located in a Northridge Center in Pine Pine City.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Feeling a little cold this winter? Call D&E Heating and Air Conditioning in Hinckley. D&E Heating and Cooling is a local Amana dealer with quality workmanship and superior service. Now scheduling into 2022. D&E is ready to assist you, keeping all your heating and air quality appliances working like they should this winter. Their technicians are dependable, knowledgeable, and will provide a professional work ethic. That's their promise to you. Make them your go-to guys for all your heating and air quality systems. Look us up, deheatingcooling.com.
Mortgage rates haven't been this low since 2017. Chad Greenway talking Franzen Bank Mortgages. Now is a great time to buy or build your first home, your dream home, or that cabin you've always wanted. Or maybe refinance and lower your monthly payment. The local mortgage experts at Franzen Bank will find an option that best fits your situation. Buying, building, or refinancing. Find a Franzen Bank mortgage expert today at franzenbank.com/getthere. Tell them Greenway sent you. Franzen Bank and Trust. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Back here on WCMP, 106.5 FM, AM 1350, or streaming live online at WCMPradio.com. The Dragons have the lead at halftime over the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, 32-27, but a late second half surge there from the Wildcats has made this a game. Pine City was up by 10 over the Wildcats here with about, I think it was 3.5 minutes left in the half. And Chisago Lakes really fought hard on the comeback, and now they're only down by 5. So, a tough part of that was Pine City struggled with some turnovers. They turned over the ball a couple of times, and then as they were going, they got more fouls as well in this first half, and it didn't fall apart, but it definitely got off track a little bit. And again, it didn't fall apart because Pine City, 1, still has the lead, 2, still had some momentum, but they also, again, the fouls were a huge thing, as were some of the turnovers here in the first half, and turnovers late in the first half. That's something they really struggled with, and if the Dragons can just make a couple more adjustments here at the half, they'll be just fine coming out into the second half, and they'll really, I think, start to pull away with this game. But that still remains to be seen, because Chisago Lakes, they made a nice comeback here in the late stages of the second half to really make this a game again. And if they didn't, if Pine City was able to hold on to the ball, less turnovers, and not foul as much, man, this could close to be a 20-point game. But again, it starts with the defense by Chisago Lakes. They're getting a lot of pressure on the Dragons underneath the basket. The Dragons, they want to go inside, but the Wildcats have done a nice job of closing that off underneath the basket. They've done a really good job because they know that Peterson likes to go underneath. He likes to be physical underneath the basket as well, and they did a really nice job of making sure he didn't get under there too many times or made it hard for him to get under there. Looking at our stat leaders here for the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, leading the way for them was Ian Larson with 6 points. Then multiple guys had 5, including Patrick Rowe, Owen Larson, and Abraham Olson. Then 2 for Reed Marquardt, Luke Thompson, and Trayson Griffin. They had 2 first-half steals and 13 first-half fouls. That is not something that you want to see if you're either head coach. On the other side for Pine City, leading the way for them was Cameron Jusak with 11 points, 7 for Dylan Peterson, 5 for Luke Wilson, then 4 for Colton Blaisdell, 2 for Jason Thiemann and Lamont Sidney, and 1 for Isaiah Haas. They had 8 first-half steals, so pretty good there, and 12 first-half fouls. So again, not something you want to see if you're a head coach is the amount of fouls each of these teams had. 13 for Chisago Lakes, 12 for Pine City. Not at all what you want to see. You want to have those really cut down here in the second half, because nearly the entire roster for Pine City that was out there in the first half at least has one foul. There are only two guys who don't have one. That's Lamont Sidney and Isaiah Haas. But everyone else who was out on the floor there in that first half has a foul on them. So in the second half, that's going to make things a little bit tougher because you got to be careful. You don't want anyone to foul out. You don't want anyone to get in foul trouble, and especially when you get something rolling on offense. Like, say you get some momentum rolling and you find a little bit of a rhythm, or like we've said about Pine City all year, when they get hot from three, when they start to drain those threes, you can't stop them. They are hard to stop and nearly impossible at times. So if they can get on a roll like that and start hitting those threes, they're hard to stop. And a good way to try and stop them is to start getting them to foul more and more. And I think that'll be beneficial for Chisago Lakes, especially since they also had 13 first half fouls. But another thing that I want to touch on here in the first half for Pine City, they really, really struggled from the free throw line. It was tough, and I believe the only one who made 2 of 2 was Cameron Jusak from the line. Otherwise, everyone was either, they missed both on their trip or they made 1 of 1. As I look at it, I believe it was they had 1 for 1 from Dylan Peterson and Colton Blaisdell along with Luke Wilson twice, and then Isaiah Haas, and then I think Lamont Sidney missed both of his. So they've struggled tonight from the line, so that would push them just under at probably right now at about 500 or 50% from the free throw line. So they've struggled from the free throw line. Like I said, the defensive pressure in that first half was outstanding. I think that's exactly what you want if you're Pine City, because again, they had 8 first half steals and plenty more turnovers in that first half. But if you're Pine City, you definitely want to see that percentage from the free throw line improve greatly here in the second half, because they left a lot of points on the court with those missed free throws. And by looking at it, I mean, you could have had, probably about 6 more points from free throws if you didn't miss. Now, you're bound to miss a couple, so that's understandable. But I know if head coach Kyle Allen, he's going to say to his guys, hey, we got to make those. We got to be better at that. So for Pine City, I think that's going to be one thing. Of course, you don't necessarily want to have to get to the line to score points, but it's bound to happen, and you got to convert those. So if you're Kyle Allen, I think you say, hey, you just got to improve on those. You don't waste a ton of time talking about it because it's something that sometimes you can shoot out of. But you just say, hey, we got to make sure we make those. Those are free points we're giving up. And I think you want to also be sure to remind them, hey, you got to be aggressive on defense. Don't let the fouls make you less aggressive. Still be aggressive on defense. Still look to try and get the steals. Still be aggressive. Don't take your foot off the gas pedal just because of the fouls. You still got to be out there pressuring that offense for Chisago Lakes and trying to get turnovers. And I think that's one thing I'd look at. And also, again, I'd look for Pine City to really move the ball quickly on offense. They started to not necessarily slow it down, but pass a lot more there at the end of the first half. I look for them maybe to not pass as much and try and just force some open spots to shoot from. And not necessarily force, because if you force, then that could lead to bad things. But you want to just kind of push a little bit more. Wildcats will start with it. Abraham Olsen drives to the basket. Shot is up and no good. Jusak will come down with the rebound for the Dragons. To Cole Waxberg. Waxberg, he didn't have any first half points. Now out to the top of the key for Jusak for 3. That's off the front of the rim. Waxberg had the rebound for a moment, but now off the court for Larson. That's Owen Larson. Nice pass to Reed Marquardt. Up and in for 2. 32-29. Luke Wilson now to Dylan Peterson. Back to Wilson, back to Peterson, now to Waxberg. Waxberg on the near side, passes it to Blaisdell. Blaisdell wanted Jusak inside, now to Peterson. Peterson back out to Blaisdell for 3. That's off the mark. And Peterson's going to come down with the rebound. Fighting hard underneath the basket, up and in for 2. And that's the physicality he loves underneath the basket. Dylan Peterson. I don't know if there's anyone better at being underneath the basket and being so physical. It's going to be the second foul on Marquardt, the first in this second half, and Peterson has a chance for a 3-point play. No good, so only 2 on that trip, and Jusak fought for the rebound, but as he was fighting, the ball went out of bounds off of him, so Wildcats will catch a little bit of a break there. Marquardt will inbound to Olsen. Olsen Up the court. Man, he can fly. Now out to Owen Larson for three. The shot is called off. Oh, and we get an offensive foul on the Wildcats. Wildcats get called for the offensive foul. That goes against Abraham Olson, his third. Now the team's second. Cole Waxberg dribbles through two defenders. Now off to Blaisdell. Blaisdell on the near side. Looking for someone to get it off to. He gets it off to Jusak. Jusak driving in. Now passes it to Waxberg. Now out to Luke Wilson for three. That's no good. And Patrick Rowe comes up with the rebound for the Wildcats. Up on the far side, he's trying to get around Wilson. He stops, dribbles again, and Cameron Jusak going to come away with the steal. That's his first of the game. Cole Waxberg, on the far side, wide open for a three, nails it. He flexes it, and he's feeling it. Again, it takes one shot from Cole Waxberg for him to get hot, and good luck stopping him, because now he can hit from anywhere. It takes one for him, and he becomes Steph Curry. Now we get a foul on the Dragons here. 37-29. 16-11 to go. With a third for Luke Wilson. And again, Luke Wilson usually plays a really clean game, but here tonight, that's his third. Rowe will get the inbound, and that was close to an over and back, but luckily he gets it on the other side, and now Rowe for the shot. It's no good. Dylan Peterson comes down with the rebound. Peterson gets it to Wilson. Wilson will just jog it up the court. Now making sure to keep it away from the defender. That goes to the far side, now gives it off to Peterson. Peterson fakes the shot, now gives it to Jusak on the far side elbow for three. It's in! On the three, on the assist from Dylan Peterson for Cameron Jusak. And we're going to get an early timeout here, it looks like, from Chisago Lakes. So they're going to stop kind of the run that the Dragons have been on. And it's 40-29. Coach Kyle Allen sends out Blaisdell to talk to the referee real quick. Blaisdell must have had a question about something. So Blaisdell gets his question hopefully answered. 40-29, and like I mentioned, it takes one shot for these Dragons to get hot, and then good luck stopping them. It starts with Cole Waxberg in transition. He was wide open on that far side elbow. Absolutely drilled it. And then Cameron Jusak gets the pass from Dylan Peterson, and he absolutely nails it for three himself, and it's 40-29. Pine City quickly gets back and turns this thing back their way. But that might have been a well-called timeout there by the Wildcats head coach Michael Holmquist, because sometimes a timeout will stop the momentum and will get things going for your side, because Wildcats have had some open shots, but two fouls have taken those away. Rowe gets it out to Marquardt. Marquardt on the far side, now to Owen Larson. Owen Larson pulls up a short two. It's in for two. 40-31. Wilson to Peterson, now back to Wilson. Wilson right back to Peterson. Up on the far side for Cole Waxberg. He stops on his drive, passes it to Peterson. Peterson trying to drive to the basket, puts up the shot. It's no good, but we get a foul call here on Chisago Lakes. I'm going to guess that is on Xander Schmidt, as he was pretty frustrated after the call. That's his third, team's third. And Peterson, this Dragon team still struggling from the free throw line right now. Peterson does not convert the first, but he gets a chance at a second one. Peterson, no good on the second, so I think only the second time tonight that they haven't at least made one, but still 3 points that you're leaving off the board. Now for three the other way, and no, in and out on the shot from Jack Walker. And now we get another foul on Chisago Lakes. Dylan Peterson got the rebound for Pine City. We get a foul on Chisago Lakes. I believe they called it on Trayson Griffin, his fourth, by the way. So he will come out of the game. Fourth team foul. Cameron Jusak comes to the sideline, as well does Blaisdell. And it's Thiemann and Mason Charles in the game. Waxberg gets the inbound pass. Step back three. That's going to be well short. And Lamont Sidney comes up with the rebound. And how, oh my goodness, how is that not a foul? Lamont Sidney definitely had some hands on him, but he let it go. And Thiemann will get set to inbound after the inbound goes, or excuse me, the shot goes off of a Wildcat. And then now we get a call. I think we're going to get a foul on Pine City. Dylan Peterson is called for the foul, and ball will go to the Wildcats. 40-31, 14:48 to go. Ray Marquardt up on the far side, and oh, they're going to get a quick foul there on Jason Thiemann. Couldn't see it, but maybe he had his arm on the other side around him, holding him back. Cameron Jusak will check into the game for Dylan Peterson. Jack Walker checks out and roll back into the game. Almost had that one go away from him. Now he drives and get, I think, Mason Charles on that one. So the fourth team foul here for Pine City. And now double teamed is Owen Larson all the way across court. Now to Rowe. Rowe will put it up for three. That's going to come up short and right into the hands of Mason Charles. Gets it off to Jusak. Jusak fighting with Rowe. Rowe trying to poke it out, but now out to Mason Charles. Charles now to Waxberg. Waxberg drives, gives it off to Sidney. Sidney not fouled. They did not call it. And now he'll be fouled, but it's up and in for two, plus the and one. Lamont Sidney has fought hard underneath the basket, not only for his shots, but also his rebounds. Fifth team foul on Chisago Lakes. They had a word with Waxberg, something about what he did or maybe said. No good from Sidney on the three-point play, but he'll get two out of it. 42-31, now driving to the basket and now giving it off. And Patrick Rowe, or excuse me, that was not Patrick Rowe. That was instead Ian Larson, who puts it up and in for two. Shot does count. Not sure who it's on. And three-point play for Ian Larson. Dragons have it 42-34. They lead 14:04 to go. Jason Thiemann up the court quickly to Waxberg. Waxberg backs it up. He's on the near side here. Now gives it to Thiemann. Thiemann goes inside to Jusak, and Jusak is fouled. Oh, and they're going to give a warning here to Rowe. Rowe not happy with the call. He got not in the face of the referee, but he was spatting at him how displeased he was. Patrick Rowe with his third, team's sixth. Jason Thiemann will inbound to Mason Charles. Back out to Thiemann for three. No good. And the rebound. Cannot see who it got to. It's Luke Thompson. Shot is up, no good, but Ian Larson gets it, puts it up and in for two. 42-36 now. Jusak to Thiemann. Now to Waxberg. Waxberg to Mason Charles. Charles now to Sidney. Mont Sidney wants to give it to Waxberg. Now to Jusak. Lane to the basket. Up and in for two. Nice job there by Jusak. Faking on the little handoff to his teammate and then drove to the basket. 44-36. It's Abraham Olsen on the far side. Gives it. And now pass back out to the top of the key for Thompson. He drives inside. No good. Oh, and Thompson goes down hard And he looks like he's trying to get up. Hopefully he's okay. That'll be the 16th foul, though, for Pine City, the first here on Lamont Sidney. So it will be Luke Thompson at the line to shoot 2. Thompson is good on the first. (44-37) with 13:03 to go. And Thompson will get set up for his second. No good on the second, and Lamont Sidney will come down with the rebound. He'll give it to Peterson. Peterson up on the offensive side. Stops at the free throw line. Wanted Sidney, and now he's looking again. He'll give it off to Waxberg. Waxberg on the far side elbow, trying to get around the defender. Now gives it to Peterson in the far side corner. Peterson will stop, gives it back to Waxberg. In the corner on the far side, he spins one way, now looks to pass, gives it off to Sidney. He'll give it to Blaisdell. Blaisdell wanted to go inside, now gives it to Waxberg. Waxberg for 3, that's good! Waxberg for 3 on the assist from Blaisdell makes it 47-37. And quickly up the court goes Rowe. Rowe pass to Olsen, and he loses it. Cole Waxberg with the steal. And Luke Wilson, no good. Plus, he gets fouled by Luke Thompson. So no good is the shot from Wilson, but Luke Thompson, I believe, is the guilty Wildcat. 17th foul, and Wilson will go to line to shoot 2. Well, referee's just getting in position here. Shot is up. And no good on the first from Wilson. Pine City just can't seem to find a groove at the free throw line here tonight. They have struggled, but again, sometimes you can shoot out of it, but so far here tonight, not been able to. Wilson is good on the second, so get another foul on Chisago Lakes on the rebound. Waxberg was fouled, and I think we get a push, and that's going to be on Trayson Griffin, his 5th. He is out. Never like to see anybody foul out of a game. That's tough, and that's got to be frustrating for the young man as well as the coach, but unfortunately he does foul out. Now Lamont Sidney will be at the line, I believe, a 1-and-1. Sidney, no good. And the rebound there by Luke Wilson. And trying to get it to Lamont Sidney, but it was tipped by a Wildcat. So Dragons will catch a break. They'll hold on to it. 48-37, 12-14 to go. Cole Waxberg looks to inbound. He gets it to Peterson. Peterson will start on the other end of half court, now in the offensive zone. Looking for a screen, trying to take it towards the top of the key. Now drives inside. He stops, gives it out to Blaisdell. Blaisdell will hand it off to Peterson. Peterson drifts to the far side elbow. Now drives inside. Pass inside to Blaisdell, and he wanted to go back out to Waxberg, and he will find Waxberg. Now to Peterson. Peterson, he finds a lane, wants to drive inside. He stops, gives it to Wilson, top of the key. Wilson will hand it to Peterson once again on the far side elbow. Fakes one way, goes inside, mishandles the ball just a little bit, and then Lamont Sidney just airballs it on accident. I think he was expecting the defender to be a lot closer than he was, and then just took a little too much off of that one. Rowe with it on the far side, trying to get around Blaisdell. He drives inside. Luke Wilson will, gonna call it on Wilson. I thought Wilson was there. Wilson definitely got set up, but they're gonna call it on Wilson. So Rowe will go to line for I'm not sure if it's gonna be a 1-and-1 or 2. Wilson now has his 4th. Looks like it'll be 2. Rowe at the line. His first one is no good. 48-37, 11:24 to go. Luke Wilson has to check out of the game, and in for him is Cameron Jusak. Jason Thiemann checks in for Lamont Sidney. 48-37. is no good on the second as well, but oh my goodness. I don't know what kind of bounce that was, but a kind one. And it was Ian Larson who got the rebound and put it back in for two, 48-39. Peterson bounced past to Thiemann, now inside for Jusak, back out. Oh, trying to get it to Blaisdell, but it is stolen away by Xander Schmidt. Now he gets it to Rowe for Ian Larson for three. That is in. Owen Larson, excuse me. Owen Larson for three, 48-42. And that is something, if you're the Dragons, you don't want. You don't want Wildcats to get any kind of a little bit of a rhythm or a streak going. Cole Waxberg on the far side gets it. Drives inside, puts up the shot, no good, but he gets the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot two. And that is going to be on Ian Larson, his second. Cole Waxberg trying to make something here. He's only got 6 points on the night. They come in the second half, and first shot is up and good. Cole Waxberg makes the first, 49-42. Cole Waxberg gets the second one to fall. Another kind roll from the rim. Makes both, and it's 50-42, 10:43 to go. Marquardt gets it from Rowe. He'll give it back to Rowe. And Rowe takes it up past half court now, gives it off on the far side there to Walker. Walker will take to the top of the court now to Reed Marquardt. Marquardt back to Walker. Walker drifting towards the far side, trying to get around Peterson. He drives inside. Oh my goodness. I don't know how he got that pass through, but he did to Luke Thompson for two. My goodness. What a play there. And now Jusak goes up the court quickly to Jason Thiemann. Thiemann looking for Waxberg. Dribbles around one defender, and that ball was tipped out of bounds by the Wildcats. Thiemann tried to hit his teammate on that same side, but it was tipped up and out of bounds. 50-44 is the score. Pine City with the lead. 10:08 to go. Inbounded to Jusak, excuse me. He drives to the basket, tries to go in hard, but it's no good. Rebounded by Luke Thompson. And now quickly up the court goes Marquardt out to Olsen for three, but a offensive charge, and Dragons have been waiting for that one to get called. It finally does, and Dragon fans and players and coaches alike all pretty pleased with that one. They have been trying to get that one called almost all night long, and they get that one there. Peterson up the court now. He gives it off to Waxberg. Waxberg trying to get around Olsen. Now gives it off to Thiemann. Thiemann tries to drive inside. His shot is no good. Getting a hand on it was Walker, and now we get a foul here on Thiemann. A ton of fouls here tonight by both teams. 10 already for Chisago Lakes and 8 now for Pine City, and now they're going to have Jack Walker at the line for a 1-and-1. Walker's first one up, no good, and Jusak will come down with the rebound for Pine City. Jusak got to watch out behind him as Walker was trying to get the steal. Now inside to Peterson. Peterson just physical inside, and he puts it up and in for two on the assist from Jusak. Make it 52-44, 9.5 to go. Rowe goes slowly up the court, turns it into a jog, stops, and then goes again. Tries to get around the defense, now gives it off to Walker. Walker now to Rowe, and Rowe has that stolen away by Mason Charles. Mason Charles with the steal. And now to Waxberg, now to Blaisdell. Blaisdell has it knocked out of his hands, but he gets it back. Now to Waxberg once again. Waxberg trying to go across court to Jusak. Jusak, nice spin move, and he'll pass it over to Peterson, and I believe we get a travel. Travel is called on Pine City, so they'll have to give it back to the Wildcats. Couldn't turn that steal into anything, unfortunately. That's their third of the second half, and now Jack Walker, or excuse me, Xander Schmidt takes it up the court, trying to put up a little bit of a floater. Gets it to fall, plus an and one, I believe. If I heard right, that's on Colton Blaisdell, his second. Oh, they say it's on Chisago. So that's Chisago's third. Reed Marquardt will check back in for Walker, and the three-point opportunity here for Xander Schmidt. Schmidt is no good on the shot, and it's a race for the rebound, and, well, the Dragons had it, but now the Wildcats will get it. Trying to drive inside is Ian Larson, and he gets the shot, and, coming up really limping is Cameron Chisago. Looks like the shot was by Luke Thompson. Luke Thompson got the shot to fall, but Cameron Chisago comes up limping with his fourth foul, team's ninth, and he makes his way to the bench area, and he'll probably get looked at here. So Luke Thompson looks for the possible three-point play. And he makes it. 52-49, 8:38 to go. And again, the Dragons have really seen their lead decimated here as of late. Seems like that's the kind of game it's been. Dragons pick up a lead, then kind of have it go by the wayside, and then they pick up a lead once again now out to Waxberg from Peterson. That's no good, and Lamont Sidney fighting for the rebound, comes down with it, puts up the shot, no good. But he's fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot two. Waxberg was no good on the shot, but Lamont Sidney, between him and Peterson, man, those two are quite physical under the basket here tonight, and they are fighting for everything. Another foul here on Chisago Lakes is Lamont Sidney at the line. That one goes against Owen Larson, his third. Lamont Sidney's good on the first, and the Dragons really needed that one. And he makes both. Wow, the Dragons really needed those from Lamont Sidney. 54-49, 8:20 to go. Abraham Olsen now gives out to Marquardt. Marquardt in the corner to Owen Larson. Up. It looks like, this is going to go against Pine City. No, Chisago Lakes. Okay. That's Owen Larson with his fourth, team's 10 plus. He'll check out of the game with his fourth. Peterson inbounds to Sidney, and he'll give it right back to Peterson. Peterson gets around the defender past half court, gives it off to Sidney. Sidney wanted Charles inside, and Peterson able to come up with the ball there. That was well out of the reach of his teammate Charles. Waxberg trying to work through some defenders. He'll give it back to Peterson, and now we'll get the first timeout of the second half by Pine City, and Al Allen probably going to get his guys together. Just get them to take a breather, take a rest, and get them back in rhythm here. They've kind of fallen out of it as of late, but those two free throws made by Lamont Sidney really could turn the tide, and those were huge because, again, Pine City hasn't hit many 2-for-2s tonight. I believe the only one who did was Cameron Chisago so far, and Lamont Sidney is the second to hit 2-for-2. So you've had two guys who have only hit 2-for-2 here tonight once. So unfortunately for Pine City, the struggles have continued throughout the entire game from the free throw line, and just can't help but to think, obviously there are more points, but they really left a lot out there, and this could still be a double-digit lead had they even made half of their free throws, half more, I should say. But they still have the lead, 54-49, and as I mentioned, this wasn't going to be an easy walk-away victory for Pine City. Chisago Lakes has done a really good job here in this game of fighting back and holding on and keeping it close, so they'll look to do much of that here, continuing throughout the rest of this game. Timeout officially over now. 7:55 to go. Pine City did call the timeout, and they'll get to inbound. It's Blaisdell. He wants Peterson, and he'll bounce pass to Peterson. Peterson inside, pass back out to Waxberg for three. That's going to be in. I thought that was going to come up short. It looked short, but forgive me, Cole Waxberg drills it. on the assist from Dylan Peterson. Rowe up on the other side, gives it off to Olsen. Olsen back to Rowe. Rowe now to Xander Schmidt. Schmidt on the far side, he just bounces it off the defender out of bounds. Sometimes when you're in trouble on the far side in a corner, you have nowhere to go with it. That's just a smart thing to do, is just throw it off a defender's foot out of bounds, or you can hope it goes out of bounds, but again, I've seen it plenty of times where they try and do that and the defender winds up coming away with it because they know it's coming and they have their hands ready. Marquardt has it on the near side. Now he gives it off to Ian Larson. Now to Olsen. On the far side is Xander Schmidt for three. That's no good. And the rebound was taken by Blaisdell, but no good on the shot there. And Ian Larson will put it back up and in for two on the rebound. 57-51. 7 minutes to go. Peterson. It's around Marquardt. Now on the far side, he'll give it off to Sidney. Sidney wants to drive inside, and going to get a charge on Sidney. Considering they haven't called that a lot tonight, I'm sure Kyle Allen pretty upset that got called on Sidney there. I mean, they have been calling that on the defender this half, and Cole Waxberg gets the steal, but he's hurt. He is hurt. And Mason Charles will put it up and in for two, but yeah, Cole Waxberg going to have to come to the bench, and he's holding his fist pretty hard there. He was in some pain, and he went hard into the bleachers trying to get that steal. He did get it. He got it cleanly. Got it back to Charles, and he put it up and in for two, but hopefully Cole Waxberg's okay. Again, he went hard into the bleachers trying to get that steal for his team, and talk about sacrifice. Maybe a little bit of blood on his hand there, scuffed it up a little bit. I mean, when you're flying as quick as he is, yeah, you're bound to have something happen. And Thiemann pokes it out. Charles has it. We get a jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Dragons. So Jason Thiemann with the poke. That is what led to the jump ball there. Jason Thiemann. And, you know, that is one thing Thiemann does really well. Whether he's in front of you, to the side of you, behind you, he just does a really good job of keeping his hand out of the, the foul and making sure he just gets enough of the ball to turn it into a jump ball opportunity for his team. And, man, he has done that all season long. He just comes from behind, pokes it out, and whether he gets enough on it for it to kind of roll around on the court, or he, gets it enough to where the offensive player has to think twice about dribbling it, he really just does a good job of offsetting the player who's dribbling it for just long enough to where they either have to think about it, or he provides a steal opportunity, or I should say a jump ball opportunity, and a lot of times they do turn into steals or a jump ball, and Jason Thiemann provides one there, and he gives the ball back to his offense. Waxberg was double teamed. He gives it off to Peterson. It's a race. The Dragons got numbers. Peterson up and in for two. Dylan Peterson, just a smart move there. Seeing the defense was behind him, he had numbers, and it was a one-on-one, and he turns it into two. Dylan Peterson, 61-51. We're in for a fun finish, ladies and gentlemen, with about 6:15 to go. In the far side corner, it's Xander Schmidt. No good on his shot. Rebounded by Ian Larson. He's fouled as he goes up. He'll go to the line to shoot two. That foul is going to be on Mason Charles, his fourth, and a lot of foul, or his third. His third, apparently. But a lot of fouls here tonight, and neither of these coaches are going to be too happy. Luke Thompson is up and good. He makes the first one, and he'll get an opportunity at a second. Cameron Jusak, he's back into the game with 4 fouls and looks to be okay. And you can bet Chisago Lake's going to try and draw the 5th foul from him. Thompson is good on both. Luke Thompson makes it 61-53 with 6:11 to go. Dylan Peterson takes it up the court. Now working on the near side. Spins around Marquardt. Gets it off to Jusak for 3. That's good! Cameron Jusak for 3. The assist goes to Dylan Peterson. 64-53. Exactly what you want if you're Pine City. Rowe now back to Olsen. Olsen on the far side. Passes it to Marquardt. Marquardt looking for Rowe, and he almost has that stolen away by Peterson. He drives inside the shot. No good. Lamont Sidney comes down with the rebound, and he'll give it to Thiemann. Wildcat player up slowly, and then Peterson tries to get a little too fancy with it. It goes behind his back, and it's stolen away here by Owen Larson. Now stolen right back by the Dragons. Cole Waxberg up the court with it, and Luke Thompson is hurt a little bit. Jason Thiemann goes inside to Jusak and get a bump, and foul is going to go on the defender, Marquardt. Interesting. I thought they were going to get that on Jusak. I thought that was a little bit too strong from Jusak, but Marquardt, apparently that's his fourth foul. Marquardt with his fourth, and Jusak going to be at the line to shoot 2. I thought Jusak got a little too hard into him, but again, they've been calling that on the defender here this evening. And Jusak no good on the first. Yeah, they've been really calling that on the defender this evening, whether he's in there to try and take the charge or in there defending. And it's gone both ways. It's been called on the Dragons on defense. It's been called on Chisago Lakes on defense. So they've been calling it consistently. And that one's no good. Sidney just mistimed the jump there for the rebound, and Rowe comes down with it. So no points out of that one. And again, just struggling from the line. That's not something you can have. Jack Walker with it, and he goes for the reverse. No good. It's Cole Waxberg who comes down with the rebound. Waxberg up the court, now gets it off to Thiemann. Thiemann double-teamed, and he's going to have to pass it. Gets it to Waxberg all the way across court for Jusak for 3. That's going to come up well short. Cole Waxberg right there waiting for the rebound. Now gets it to Peterson. Peterson lets the defender go by. He drives inside to Cole Waxberg now on the near side elbow. That's no good. And a bunch of hands go up for the rebound, and now we get a jump ball opportunity. The possession arrow favors Pine City. 64-53, 4:40 to go. And I went to the scorer's table for a moment, not sure what they wanted to talk about there. Inbound to Dylan Peterson, though. Well, nothing came away from the visit to the scorer's table, but I'm not sure what they exactly were talking about. Thiemann no good on his shot, and Peterson trying to come down with the rebound. You had to make sure not to go over the Wildcat defender, because then you get a foul, you get a push or something, and Waxberg asking for a towel. And there must be some water or sweat or maybe a little bit of blood out on the court. We're going to clean that up. 64-53 the score here. Pine City leads over Chisago Lakes, and Pine City, if they could win here, they will definitely improve their QRF points, and they'll definitely make a jump here after tonight. And again, they're looking for at least the, I believe, 8th seed to get a home playoff game. Reed Marquardt with the deep inbound now to Owen Larson for 3, and that is just pure. 64-56, Peterson fights through, and Reed Marquardt gets a finger on it. He tries to blame it on Lamont Sidney that he touched it, but hey, I mean, you try anything, man. If it works, and then you get the ball back, but refs didn't buy it there. He was the last one to touch it. I like the idea, though. I like the idea of trying to get it called on the offensive player. Colton Blaisdell, a 3-point shot that is up and over the defender. Peterson goes up, and I mean, Mr. Fantastic comes down with the rebound. His arm stretches. He's got some superpowers coming down with the rebound and put that back up and in for 2, 66-56. Under 4 minutes, to go. Marquardt gets it all the way across court to Owen Larson. Owen Larson drives inside, puts up the shot. Nice move, nice Euro step, puts it up and in for 2. 66-58, 3:45 to go. Thiemann to Peterson, now to Waxberg. Waxberg back to Peterson. Now to Thiemann, and Thiemann has that one tipped, and it's going to be stolen away by Abraham Olson. And now the Wildcats have it. Marquardt looks for 3, and Waxberg. Nice job to come down with that rebound. He'll get it off to Peterson. Peterson has numbers. He's going to take it to the basket. Reverse layup. Gets the jump, and it's in. A nice bounce on the rim to get that one to fall through. 68-58. Dylan Peterson having a game here tonight. And Rowe struggling. He'll get it off to Olsen now. Olsen to Marquardt. Marquardt, step back three. That's coming up short and into the arms of Ian Larson. Now for three from Rowe. That's no good. And Dylan Peterson comes down with the rebound once again. Peterson, he's double teamed and gets it off to Thiemann. And now Dragons will call a timeout there. 68-58, 2:49 to go, and Pine City will be left with 2 timeouts. Chisago Lakes has 1. It's a 10-point lead here for Pine City. And what a half of basketball it has been. Pine City went to half with the lead, 32-27. And it has been another fantastic half of basketball action between these two teams. And it hasn't even been close to one-sided. Though it is a 10-point lead for Pine City, it really feels more like a 1 to 2 possession game here in this one. It really doesn't feel like these two teams are that far away. But again, the momentum has just kind of been something that has been shifting back and forth. Pine City, though, has done a really good job of late here in this half to kind of capture the momentum they once had and not play out of their game, not get too out of sorts, and just stay within themselves and not get too far behind. And, notice that they when they are behind on the play, they don't try and force anything. They don't foul. They just stay with it, and they do a good job of not getting the foul. Blaisdell gets the inbound, and he's looking for someone to pass to. He's going to just have to, Kyle Allen going to have to call a timeout there. Yeah, Blaisdell was stuck in no man's land. He had no one to pass to. Got a double team on him, and then none of his teammates were open or could find a lane open. And no man's land there. Just a smart move by Kyle Allen to call the timeout. While they take a timeout, we'll take one as
the holidays are over, and we're all dreaming about spring. But at Aquarius Home Services, we know Old Man Winter isn't done with us yet. Remember last year? We had snow in April. That's why at Aquarius, we're offering $65 off any furnace repair. With your safety and comfort as our top priority, we'll treat your home and time with respect. We'll provide options that make sense with upfront, no-surprise pricing. We're just a click away at AquariusHomeservices.com. Aquarius, earning the right to be recommended.
Back here in Pine City High School, in this boys basketball game between the Chisago Lakes Wildcats and the Pine City Dragons. Dragons hold on to a 68-58 lead over the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, and my goodness, it's going to be a fun finish between these two. Last time Pine City got the victory 67-63. This time holding on to a little bit more of a lead, but Chisago Lakes has proven that they can find a run and get on it and make it hard for Pine City on offense. And they, as well, have shown that they can get hot from three pretty darn quickly. Luke Wilson in the game. He passed it to Peterson, and wide open for 2. Beautiful pass from Luke Wilson to Dylan Peterson, up and in for 2, 70-58. And now Owen Larson for 3. That's no good. And rebounded by Reed Marquardt. Now out to Rowe for 3. That's no good. Owen Larson. No, that's not Larson. That is Luke Thompson who gets the rebound. And shot is blocked by Cameron Jusak. And Jusak tries to get it off, and now it's going to be stolen away. No. It'll go out of bounds. Last touch by the Wildcats. Jusak trying to get around the defender and had it poked out as he went up to pass, and luckily rolls out of bounds, so Dragons will catch a break there. Peterson inbounds quickly to Waxberg, now up to Blaisdell as he was double-teamed, and now gets it back to Jusak. Jusak gets it out to, no one. Peterson and Waxberg kind of looked at each other and thought it was going to both of them, and it went right in between them, and they thought each other was going to get it. That didn't happen, so it goes out of bounds. Turnover, not what you want if you're the Dragons, especially in this part of the game. Inbound from Olsen to Rowe. Rowe, he's been guarded by Blaisdell all night, and give Blaisdell credit. There's some significant height difference. On Marquardt on the far side for 3. That is good on the assist from Rowe. Now up the court to Peterson. Peterson gives it off to Blaisdell. Now to Wilson. Wilson trying to figure out the dribble, and don't know if it was a double dribble, a travel, or a carry. Not sure what they called, but turnover again. And again, we just seen what happened on the last turnover. Pine City gave it back to Chisago Lakes, and they turned it into 3, 70-61 with a minute and a half to go. Not what you want to have happen. Blaisdell on Rowe. Rowe going to put up a little bit of a floater that is no good, and Jusak's going to come down with the rebound. And, going to be stolen away here. Thought by Marquardt, but they're going to get a jump ball, and it will stay essentially as a steal because Wildcats will hold on to it. So Dragons struggling right now. They're turning the ball over 3 times that have. Oh, and then inbound. It goes off of the foot of Olsen. And as Marquardt went to get it, he was still on the boundary line. So Dragons, they catch a huge break. This ball is inbounded to Wilson. He's double teamed, kind of in no man's land. Does a good job to get around the defenders. Now to Jusak up the court. Jusak on the far side gets it inside to Dylan Peterson. Fights through, puts it up, and in for 2. Makes it 72-61, 1:10 to go. Marquardt for 3. No good off the front of the rim. Jusak again going to come down with the rebound, and that's going to be poked out from Jusak, but they're going to get a foul on Chisago Lakes. And I believe Jusak will go to the line to shoot 2. .103 to go. That is the 5th for Marquardt. He has to come out of the game. So Marquardt will have to check out, and Jack Walker will come in for him. Second player for Chisago Lakes that's had to check out. Surprisingly, only 2 have checked out of the game, and both for the Wildcats, but Jusak no good on the first. Could have easily been a lot more for both these teams, as they've had 12 in the first half did Pine City and 13 in the first half did Chisago Lakes. And again, we're getting to about that many here in the second half for each. Jusak good on the second. Olsen takes it quickly up the court to Walker. Walker tries to get through 2 defenders, then he puts up the shot. It was blocked by Cameron Jusak, but it goes out of bounds, and Wildcats will get another chance. Under a minute to go. Olsen, he'll get ready to inbound, and Olsen looks, he inbounds it to Walker on the far side for, I think it was a long 2. Dylan Peterson comes up with the rebound, and looks like we're going to get a foul call. Another one here on Chisago Lakes with 51.5 seconds to go. That's going to go on Olsen, his 4th. Dylan Peterson at the line to shoot 2. No good on the first. He makes the second, though. Dylan Peterson has had himself quite a game. He has 21 points. Jusak has 20. And now Jack Walker for 3. That's going to come up well short, but there to put it back in for 2 is Luke Thompson. And we're going to get a timeout here by Chisago Lakes. Their final timeout with 41.5 seconds to go. 74-63. Dragons with the lead. And when we come back from the timeout, Dragons will get to inbound the ball. So we'll take a commercial break. You're listening to Boys Basketball on 106.5 FM, AM 1350 WCMP.
Since 1967, Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley, has been where to go for all your building projects. Let Gerald Schmidt help you with designing, remodeling, or any new construction. Schmidt Construction specializes in residential home building, agricultural, industrial, and commercial buildings. With expert advice on all of your building projects and ideas, when you hire a contractor to take care of your building needs, you can't do better than Schmidt Construction, general contractor in Hinckley. 320-384-7901.
Back here inside Pine City High School, the Dragons have the lead over the visiting Chisago Lakes Wildcats, 74-63. The final timeout called there by the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, and Dragons have one more left as well. It has been a fun one here tonight. Jusak and Dylan Peterson both in double-digit scoring, and I believe they both might have a double-double. It'll be close for Peterson right now. He has, looks like, 8 rebounds, so he needs 2 more to get the double-double. And again, these are my unofficial stats. Looking at their official stats, they probably have, maybe a couple more. Inbound to Luke Wilson. He gets fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Right now, it's not a bad idea to foul if you're Chisago Lakes, because of the fact that, Pine City has not shot too well from the free throw line tonight. They're about 50% or so. That foul, by the way, was on Jack Walker, his first of the entire game. Wilson, no good on the first. 74-63, 39 seconds to go. Walker checks out. In for him will be Xander Schmidt. Wilson's second shot, also no good, and getting the rebound there is Luke Thompson. Up to Rowe. Rowe looking to drive towards the basket, gives it out to Xander Schmidt for three, and nice shot there from Xander Schmidt. Peterson will inbound to Wilson, and he gets it up to Peterson. Peterson now to Blaisdell. Blaisdell will just hold on to it, not going to try and shoot with 19 seconds to go. 74-66 is the score after the long three-point shot made from Xander Schmidt on the far side corner. And Abraham Olsen will check out. That's his fifth. Again, surprised that we didn't have more guys have to check out because of fouls, or foul out rather. Blaisdell at the line to shoot two. His first one's good. And second one is good as well. 76-66, 20 or 19 seconds ago. I was going to say under 20, but then I kept it at 20. And putting up a blind shot was Jack Walker. That is nowhere near the basket. It will bounce out of bounds. And yeah, you kind of just have to do that when you're down by 10 with under 20 to go. It's just what you have to do and hope that something falls, and then got to foul quick. Hope they don't make both or don't make any, and then you got to go down, do it again. And so Pine City on their way to another victory here. And looks like the Dragons will call their final timeout of the game. They'll use their fifth. Looks like it'll be so they were just going to have it be for substitutions, but they're going to let it be a timeout. So Pine City will get their substitutes in. It'll be Riley Cummings, Charles Osmus, Ashton Seals, Nick Plajek, and Micah Overtoom. They'll all come into the game for these final 13 seconds as Pine City on their way to their 18th win of the season. Of course, they finished the conference schedule undefeated. Great River Conference champs. 76-66 is the score. And Riley Cummings got a hand on that inbound. Goes out of bounds, though. And Wildcats will hold on to it. 12 seconds to go. Cummings just did a nice job to get a hand on that one. Inbounded to Schmidt. Now for Walker for three. That's no good. And Charles Osmus gets the rebound. 7-6. 5 seconds left. He'll get it past half court. And that will be it. The Pine City Dragons get the victory here tonight over the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, 76-66, and they will move to 18-7 on the season. We'll get a commercial break. Of course, stay tuned. After the commercial break, we'll have our Nichols Cafe player of the game. Nichols Cafe, the place where Dragon coaches, players, and fans go to get fed. Also, remember, eat more bacon. Never can have enough bacon. Stay tuned after the break, and we'll get a word from our Nichols Cafe player of the game and head coach Kyle Allen. You're listening to basketball here on WCM.
If you've been injured in an auto accident or have sustained other personal injury, you don't have to leave town to get good representation. Spear and Swanson attorneys at law in Pine City are experienced and will work on your case with no fee until they get you money. They also handle divorce and custody cases, criminal defense, including DWI and other legal matters. Spear and Swanson is your local law firm that cares about you. So if you need legal representation or advice, call 320-629-7586. Spear and Swanson, attorneys at law in Pine City.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Visit Town & Country Insurance today at townandcountry-ins.com or stop in our offices in Finlayson, Hinckley, and Mora.
3 words. Sriracha Cheese Curds. Introducing the latest A&W family restaurant side with a kick. Sriracha Cheese Curds have arrived at A&W. We've spiced up our 100% Wisconsin white cheddar cheese curds with just the right amount of sriracha heat. You can enjoy Sriracha Cheese Curds with your favorite A&W combo or on their own. Make sure to cool off the heat with a frosty mug of original A&W root beer. Hurry in, Sriracha Cheese Curds are only available for a limited time at your local A&W family restaurant in Pine City.
Minnesota, it's home. Hot summers at the lake, beautiful falls, snowy winters, and rainy springs. We experience it all. Make sure you're ready to handle whatever this state throws at you with help from Minnesota Equipment in Isani. Minnesota Equipment carries brands you love, like John Deere, Steel, Toro, Gravely zero-turn mowers, and Aaron snowblowers. Their helpful staff can not only get you the equipment you need, but can help you maintain it so it will last. Plus, they carry a full line of farm equipment. Minnesota Equipment in Isani, online at minnesotaequipment.com.
With high school sports season here again, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
All right, we are now joined by our Nichols Cafe player of the game, Colton Blaisdell. Colton, how did it feel to go out here and get another win for your team?
It was awesome. This could have been one of our last home games of the year, and it just was great coming out, playing hard in front of all of our fans.
Absolutely, and you faced this team earlier in the year. It was a much closer game that time, but again, the score tonight, a little bit bigger margin of victory this time, but it certainly felt like it was a lot closer.
Yes, it was very close. We just had a great game plan, and we stuck to what we do best.
Yeah, you guys were aggressive early on, and you guys got a lot of turnovers. I know that's part of the game plan a lot of the times, but is that part of the game plan here tonight? Because it certainly looked like it turned into a bunch of points for you guys.
Oh, definitely. Defense is always our game plan, getting turnovers, transition points. That's what we do.
And was this game kind of for you guys? It looked like there was a lot more energy out here tonight. Were you guys excited for this one, wanting to get back on that winning side of things?
Yeah, we are really excited for this one. We've been looking forward to this one, and just the crowd out here gave us a lot of energy.
Absolutely. This one postponed back a day, so you had to wait. What were you doing in that day that you had to wait for this game?
We were just watching film, preparing, seeing what they were like.
All right, well, you got your last game coming up here on the road against Esco. What do you expect to see from them, and what is your game plan going in there?
We're just going to play good defense, rebound, and we're going to expect a lot of energy out of them. They're pretty good. They're going to bring a good fight.
Absolutely. All right, thank you again to Colton Blaisdell, our Nichols Cafe player of the game. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And again, that was Colton Blaisdell, the Nichols Cafe player of the game. And now we're joined by the head coach of Pine City. Coach, another fun one here tonight, a team you faced off earlier in the season. And I know, talking about this one, you were pretty excited coming for this one.
Yeah, it felt like a playoff game. It was a ton of fun. And, we're fighting for that home playoff game for ourselves. So, hopefully this isn't the last one here this year. But it had a playoff atmosphere. Being on a Wednesday just felt a little off. Hosting a big school, a team that just beat North Branch last week. Last week. They're playing great basketball. So we were excited for the challenge and excited to walk out with a win tonight.
Absolutely, and of course the QRF, no one knows how that works, but I believe if you get a win over a bigger class team, it should give you more points, so that should help you guys move up into a higher ranking in the QRF to get that home playoff game. But talking about tonight's game, again, the energy was alive, the crowd was into it, your bench was into it. You love that. I know that you talk about that, but just talk about what that atmosphere was like for your guys on the court tonight.
Yeah, we this season gets long. And the teams that stand at the end are the ones that were able to fight through it. And that's what we're asking our guys to do. And we probably ask a little more than most just because of our style and because of how we operate and how we do things. And, the goal is to be all in right now. And be all in, do all the things that we do them to the best of your ability. Everyone has a job. Everyone has a role. And if we can continue to execute at a high level and do the things that we do, then I like our chances a lot.
Absolutely. And a couple more things here before we wrap up. Coach, I know the free throws weren't falling for you here tonight as much as I think you would have liked them to have. But talk about what is the message to the guys when they're not falling in a night like tonight and when you possibly really could need them to.
Shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot. It's one of those things where sometimes you just got to see the ball go in the hole, and you can't see it go in if you don't shoot it. So we have a system, we have a process that we do, and we just stick to the process and let it all work out the way it's supposed to.
And a physical game here tonight. I know there are a bunch of fouls here between both teams, but was that just part of the game, part of the product of this game because it was just so physical between both these teams?
I think neither team backed down, and so when you have that and two teams that are going to be physical like that, there's just bound to be a lot of fouls. And so, this is Chisago is probably one of the deeper teams we play, and so we pride ourselves in our depth of our bench, and we pride ourselves in being able to play a lot of guys, and in moments like that, it hopefully plays to our advantage in those moments.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Congrats on the win, and good luck in your final game of the season next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. That, again, was the head coach of the Pine City Dragons, head coach Kyle Allen. And, again, our Nichols Cafe player of the game was Colton Blaisdell. He was a key piece of this team. He has been all season. Again, he got those last two free throws on the night. He made them both, and that's something that didn't happen a lot tonight. Again, you heard Coach Allen. You shoot to get hot, and you shoot to stay hot. So they just got to, sometimes it's all about momentum. Sometimes it's all about a rhythm. And just from the free throw line, they couldn't find that here tonight. But again, Blaisdell was able to find that late here in this game. And again, sometimes he doesn't provide a lot of points as much as he probably would like to, but man, does he play his heart out. A senior on this squad, and he certainly has a piece in this team and in this scheme because he is out there, and whether it's him hustling or battling against, Patrick Rowe, who is 6'5" out there. I said there was a significant height difference. I can't see the height right now. But he battled all night long against Patrick Rowe, and what a battle it was. And more times than not, Colton Blaisdell won that battle between them two, and it was so cool to see such a good night of basketball here for Blaisdell. He provided a lot of good passing here tonight for the Dragons. I mean, it was just, the passing tonight is another thing that I think was a huge part of their win tonight. It was so fluid, so beautiful, and they were so patient as well, along with the shooters. They didn't force anything. They were patient on their shots, and they let it come to them, and that was a big reason for that second half, them being able to come back in the second half. Chisago Lakes, again, they never held the lead in this game, but they came back again in the middle part of the second half and really, again, made it a single-digit lead, and it looked like they might come back and possibly take the lead, but they weren't able to. In Pine City, they held on to the lead, and they just did a great job of just focusing, keeping with the game plan, and just marching on and never giving in, and that is why they come away with the victory here tonight. They just never gave in, never backed down, and always saw, the game plan for what it was, and again, they stuck with it, and that's, I think, why they came away with the win here tonight. So leading the way here for the Pine City Dragons was Dylan Peterson with 22 points and 8 rebounds. Again, that is just my unofficial stat line here, trying to keep up with the game as well. He had 3 assists and a steal in this game. He did finish with 3 fouls there. And then for Cameron Jusak, he had 20 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double. Cole Waxberg had 11 points, 6 points for Colton Blaisdell, Luke Wilson, and Lamont Sidney. Then 2 for Mason Charles and Jason Thiemann, and 1 for Isaiah Haas on his lone free throw. Lamont Sidney also had 11 rebounds in this game as well, so he had a pretty good game. And despite all the fouls they had here in the second half, they did a pretty good job of making sure that nobody fouled out. I think, again, they had about 12 second half fouls and 12 in the first half, so 24. But again, no one fouled out for Pine City, and I think that's huge. And again, you heard the physicality by both teams. Neither team wanted to back down. Both teams were just fighting so hard for this game, especially since Pine City won at Chisago Lakes last time. Chisago Lakes was probably hoping to get a win here tonight over Pine City and upset them in their own home, but Pine City does a good job to pull away and hold on to their lead and take it all the way through the entirety of the game. Looking on the other side here for the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, again, they deserve a bunch of credit, and they did so good on their other side. I mean, they late in that game, they were really starting to hit the threes, and they were starting to fall for them, and it looked like, oh boy, here they come, and it really looked like that they were about to make a comeback, but unfortunately that comeback falls a little bit short here this evening, and it will come up just short against the Dragons, but a hard-fought game for the Chisago Lakes Wildcats. Again, a really good game for them. Leading the way, both of these young men had 15 points, Owen Larson and Ian Larson, and they both had 15, 12 for Luke Thompson, and then 7 for Reed Marquardt, 5 for Abraham Olson, Patrick Rowe, and Xander Schmidt, and then 2 for Trayson Griffin. That gives them the 67 that they had. Or excuse me, that is not the correct score. But anyways, we move on before I make myself look like a fool because I can't talk. But no, the Dragons, again, a big win here tonight over a 3A school. And like I was talking to Kyle Allen about, it was, you know, the win here over a 3A school will help your QRF rating because it's over a bigger school, and plus it's a double-digit win, so that will certainly help the QRF standings here. And again, they're looking for that home playoff game. I believe you have to be a 7 or 8 seed in this year's playoffs to get that first playoff home game of the playoffs, so they'll have to get up there, but I think tonight will certainly help them. And Rush City Malacca sitting in those 8 and 9 spots, so they'll have to overcome them, and I think tonight might just push them above that, might just give them the points they need, but we'll have to wait and find out. But again, the Dragons get the victory here tonight, 76-66 over the Chisago Lakes Wildcats. I want to thank all of you for tuning in here tonight, listening to me babble on and make myself sound like an idiot, but I thank you for joining. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching a fantastic game. It was a fun one here tonight as Pine City gets the victory. I want to thank all of our fine sponsors who sponsor not only this broadcast, but of course all winter sports. I want to thank them so much because without them, we can't call any of these games. We can't be out at any of these games, so thank you so much to all of our winter sports sponsors. Be sure to tune in to the morning shows on both KBEK and WCMP. The KBEK morning show with Rock and Robin Riley at 7:30 and 8:30 for your local sports. And, of course, the WCMP morning show with Joshua Miron at 7:45 and 8:45. Also tune in to the playoff game between Cambridge Isani and Princeton, the boys' playoff game over on 95.5 FM. That game going on. Andy Beckstrom on that call. Be sure to tune into that one, as that should be a good one as well. Again, the final here in Pine City, the Dragons over the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, 76-66. For WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Have a great rest of your night. Also tune in to the playoff game between Cambridge Isani and Princeton, the boys' playoff game over on 95.5 FM. That game going on. Andy Beckstrom on that call. Be sure to tune into that one, as that should be a good one as well. Again, the final here in Pine City, the Dragons over the Chisago Lakes Wildcats, 76-66. For WCMP, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Have a great rest of your night.